guys, it's Jane. Welcome back to the Book and Beverage Review, where today we will be having Tolkien Tea Time. We are going to be reviewing a short story by J.R.R. Tolkien called Leaf by Niggle, and it's about a character named Niggle who's a painter. And we're going to also be having the Celestial Seasonings Cookie Sleigh Ride Herbal Tea. So this is a seasonal product. I got it at Walmart at the discount aisle. I don't know if you guys will be able to find it, but So without further ado, let's sip some tea and get into our Tolkien tea time. Tolkien tea time. You guys can see the steam pouring off of it. Ooh, it smells like a sugar cookie. That's actually shocking. I thought it was gonna smell like a stale sugar cookie for some reason. It smells like a cake batter or something of the like. Well, here goes. Wow, that has a very smooth sugar cookie flavor. And yes, it does taste like an herbal tea as well. That's really good advertising because that's exactly what it tastes like. Now, I didn't put any sugar or any milk in here, but I can imagine with sugar and milk, this would be the bomb. Really cool. So now, before we get into our story, I am going to light my Rivendell candle by Aurora River Candles. Oh, gosh. So I have been reading Fall of Gondolin for next week's Tolkien Tea Time. And I'm sorry this video didn't come out on Sunday. I tried to upload a Tolkien Tea Time, but it didn't work. So I said, let me just refilm it because I kind of looked terrible in there. Not saying I look great now, but at least my hair straightened. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. I have been reading Fall of Gondolin to this candle. Only about 10 minutes though, because then I got interrupted by something. But I enjoyed this story so much. I think that this is actually one of my favorite Tolkien works I've ever read or listened to. I listened to an audiobook for free here on YouTube. I will link down below so you guys can hear it. It was only like 40-something minutes, but so the story follows a painter named Niggle who lives in a society or town that doesn't really appreciate like art. And he is not really a great artist. He just kind of paints leaves, and he loves painting leaves because he thinks them to be very pretty. And eventually he begins to think, well, I want to build a whole tree or paint a whole tree. And he begins to paste little pieces of canvases together as the tree gets bigger and bigger. And eventually he says, I'm not going to have time to make this whole canvas because it just keeps getting bigger. I just have to finish what I have, because he's supposed to go on some big journey. Now, a lot of people, including myself, believe that this is basically what Tolkien went through when he was making the Silmarillion and the Middle-earth saga, is because he was piecing together all these small stories, which amounted to, of course, the Legendarium. I should be using it like this. So the wind-up is that he ends up going on his journey, which takes him into a very dark tunnel, which I believe that that's death, a metaphor for death. And he goes to this place called the hospital to make him well. But that kind of seems like that's almost like a purgatory or maybe like a limbo, because there he becomes a carpenter, right? And he hears two voices speaking, one that's harsher, one that's gentler. And because I know that Tolkien was very Catholic and there was a lot of Jesus elements to even the Lord of the Rings, or Christian elements to the Lord of the Rings, I do believe that's probably like the tougher voice, the father, the softer voice, the son. And the reason why I say that is because when it's agreed upon by the two voices that Niggle can leave that hospital or wherever he's at, he has to take a cup of wine and a biscuit before he goes on his journey, which to me represents communion, right? That the sacrament. So he goes on his journey and he goes to this beautiful land, and he ends up seeing a tree in the distance, and he realizes it's the tree he had been painting all along, but it's alive. It very much reminded me too of like that Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come, of how he goes in his afterlife and lives in his wife's painting, you know, that sort of thing. So it kind of reminded me of that. There's a lot more going on in this work, and I do think that this is almost like a short story mini biography of Tolkien himself. And in a way, it was also kind of cute, just because the character Niggle seems to be helping everyone out, yet he feels very bothered by the fact he has to help everyone because all he wants to do is paint. And I do think that's somewhat true for Tolkien, because he was doing a lot of things, especially when he worked at the university with C.S. Lewis, but all he wanted to do was paint, all he wanted to do was write. So I don't know, it's very interesting. If you're a Tolkien fan, or even just an artist who's struggling with a job or writer's block and you're not able to do your art full time, this short story is definitely something you should read, because it very much echoes how artists just want to be able to do their art, but life keeps getting in the way and distracting them. Very awesome. Very, very awesome. For my final thoughts, I give this short story a 5-star. So it gets 5 stars not just because it's Tolkien, but because I actually love Tolkien's writing. Tolkien was the type of writer that could use very simple words and convey very deep meaning. That you guys should take a look at it yourself. The link's down below. And as for the tea, I like this. I'm having trouble rating it because there's no sugar in mine and there's no milk. I would say I still enjoy it even without sugar and milk. I'm going to give this 4 stars. That's quite high for like a celestial seasoning herbal tea, because I don't really like herbal tea, but it just, that sugar cookie flavor is really fun. So yeah, this is going to get 4 stars. Thank you guys so much for watching. I enjoy making these videos for you guys, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the Tolkien Tea Time series too, as I am. I think it's just been fun the whole way around. I will see you guys soon. I look forward to sipping a beverage with you and getting into a new story. Take care, guys.